I think we're live. Hey
Here we
guys.
are.
What is up? Yeah, first live stream of the year. I know I haven't done a lot of them last year, but I'm thinking of bringing the stuff back. So I had to call up my buddy Vince from Keep It Mint in Mind on YouTube to go along on this journey of our first live stream on my channel. Um, yeah, I just want to say like thank you to everybody that's tuning in during the live chat here. I already see a couple guys in the live chat like El Tenda. Thanks so much for tuning in, buddy. We got 2040 Sil and we got Orlando. That's already in the chat. So great
Nice.
to see you guys here. It's going to be great to see people in the comments that watch this stuff later. But today we're going to be talking about my buddy Vince and his collecting journey, the way he started getting into collecting stuff and started getting into YouTube. So, yeah,
hmm
let's get started. How are you doing today, Vince?
I'm doing all right. Thanks, Ed. And thanks for having me. You've always been super kind every time we cross paths and collabed in this little microcosm of the European toy collectors here. So yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it would be totally boring if it was just me, talking. The same thing goes for when I do like a video because I remember ringing you up like, dude, I have to go film at Comic-Con and I need a buddy to talk to. Will you come over? And that's when you jumped on a train from Amsterdam all the way
Yeah,
to Belgium. Because
yeah.
yeah, guys, I'm shooting this live from Belgium. Vince is over in Amsterdam, I believe, or close to
That's
it at
correct.
least.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's why we're doing it this early, just to, be able to sleep well tonight and not be like up too late. Oh,
yeah.
dude, we got King's Cave 80s in the chat as
Wow,
well.
loads of people. Hi,
Rex
buddy.
Havoc. There we go. Ray. Scuba Pete. There we go.
That was fun, that Brussels Comic Con. I remember you contacting me, and it was like a couple of days, uh, like very short notice, and I was like, this is
Can
gonna
you
be the
do it?
easy, this is the easiest yes ever. Do I want a toy hunt with Ed? Because it's like years ago, I was watching your content, and I'm like
Okay.
that seems like a lot of fun, like that. I wanted to do that so bad, and it took me a while to take the plunge and actually do the whole on camera thing myself. But it was bizarre that like within a relatively short time, you and I got connected, and there we were at Brussels Comic Con hunting together. It was yeah, it was a lot of
Well,
fun to see you at work in your element.
I think like whenever I see somebody at like a Belgian or like a toy show in Holland walking around with a camera, I'll go and like see what they're doing just because it's not like in the US where everybody seems to be walking around vlogging or stuff. So in Europe, it's still like considered to be like this weird thing. Like
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
coming back from US and just, whipping out the camera constantly, being like, and people would like, freak out, like what's happening,
yeah.
also that, we do our shows in English. So that's also kind of weird because you have to factor in like maybe not everybody in Europe is speaking English, so
Yeah.
that's why there's maybe not a lot of live footage when we do the stuff over here. But what I wanted to say was actually like I saw you walking around. I think I introduced myself or I came over. I was like, hey, what's your channel? And I checked out the video and I was just like blown away with like the style of editing, how cool the shots looked, all like the lighting of the close-up scenes and everything. So I was like really impressed. And I think like what um one of the really fun things I enjoyed coming up as a content creator was just like a little bigger channels reaching out and being like, hey, it's cool what you do, or I enjoyed this video. And in that way, I was like, yeah, I really enjoyed your video. So I was
Thanks,
kind of
dude.
like reaching out and, hoping to see you at the next one. I also think like Europe is super big and we definitely need more than just me and like the guys from Leicester or the guys from Empire Toys. 1138 doing videos on the stuff over here in Europe. So it's always good to have another buddy joining the YouTube cinematic universe.
Wow.
Something like that. So yeah, and just loads of people are tuning in. We got people in from Malta.
Wow.
Before we had from Argentina. I would love to go to Argentina. That's like on
Oh,
my
yeah.
list. Maybe not this year. Maybe not. But yeah, definitely would want to go there. Yukon Phil. Hey, what's up, buddy? And who else do we have here? Got Payne's toy samples. Oh, California. I still haven't been to California. There we go. Michigan. I've been to Michigan. Loved it over there. I think Justice Curry is from Michigan.
Yeah.
There we go.
Awesome. Very busy chat room. Very busy comment section.
Super.
Love it.
But yeah. Let's get into it. Like your toy collecting journey. Where did it start? And what I'll always try to go into first is actually checking out like what were the toys that you grew up with? What were the toy lines that, maybe dominated your existence as a kid?
Yeah, so I think like yourself, I'm a product of that era of the Saturday morning cartoon toy cycle, and yeah, I was a big toy kid. And primarily Transformers. I had an older brother who was also very much into Transformers, so he had all the cool like metal ones, like the real G1 ones, and I came in a little bit later. And Turtles, I had a big turtle phase, like all of us. And yeah, dipped my toe into some other lines as a kid. I had some Attack Pack. I had a Boglin, of course. Some Kenner Aliens was a line I was very much into. I love that. So I was a big toy kid, and I think that sort of that appreciation for that style and that sort of toyetic style and the whole sort of the world around it, the packaging, the commercials, the photography, everything around it, sort of that always sort of stuck. So it's still the marketing from back then is still working on me now. I think. Yeah.
That's like one of the most interesting things to me, and I think it's kind of like what I build the. It's some type of an angle I take when I try to do the toy histories, as like my job is in marketing. Not that I'm like
same, by the way. But
really, there we go. I mean, I think that's why those parts like the packaging or the way it looks like, oh, this is like the gimmick for this toy. This is why it's gonna sell. It's because it has all this stuff coming out. I think that's just like really interesting, and it created us into like buying machines for the next decades. We're still buying Motu, we're still buying Turtles. Did you really like connect to the way cartoons were set up as like big commercials, or?
I kind of pieced that together quite quickly. There's always this big debate amongst Transformer fans. There's a whole group of people who want things to be toon accurate. They want everything that's chrome and stuff to be white plastic, and they want less detail because they want that sort of shell shaded toon look. And then there's people who want toy accuracy, who want chrome and stickers and that stuff. And I've always been sort of about toy accuracy, because somehow as a kid I already realized like, oh, it's about the toys, and it's nice that there's a cartoon, but it's about the toys. So the cartoons were important, but not as important as the toys. I think I spent more time with the toys and the toy catalogs, like burning holes into the catalogs with my eyes, just staring at all the stuff, than the actual.
Like around cartoon. Christmas time, when you have to pick like stuff for Santa to bring over, or just anytime? All the time.
I remember having the Transformers catalog under my pillow as a kid, and then folded onto the side that had the picture of Soundwave, because I wanted him so bad. I thought as a kid, if I just stared at it enough, I would manifest it.
It would just materialize.
It would, and it took 15 years before I actually ever had a Soundwave, and that's actually what kicked off my adult collecting journey. Was like everybody, you had your big toy phase, and then you get into video games and going out and hanging out with friends and everything, and the whole sort of toy stuff sort of subdues. Um, until I found out there was that there were vintage toy stores like Space Oddity in Amsterdam. Shout out to Jeff Bos with the Space Oddity crew. And I was like, oh, I can still get this stuff. I can still sort of go back in time and get the ones that I wanted but never had. And then I discovered eBay, and I got my my Soundwave finally. And then I was like, what other things did I want but didn't have? Let's go hunt for them. And then all of a sudden you get sucked into toy shows and message boards, and then this whole community, and now we're all addicted.
Yeah, I mean, we're all just a little bit addicted to plastic, aren't we?
Yep.
Another guy that's really addicted is my buddy over here, King's Cave 80s. Like, if you guys haven't checked out his channel yet, he does podcasts in English and in Spanish. I think his content is also duolingual, but check out his collection room. It's insane, really. And yeah, so if you had to say like one toy line that defined your childhood, it was definitely Transformers, or?
Yeah, I think it was my parents made me choose. Like they went like, you can't be a fan of everything. We're not going to get you a different toy from a different line for every birthday and swimming diploma. So I concentrated on Transformers, and my childhood friend Toy Buster, who's also on Instagram, check him out.
Yeah.
Toy Buster. He focused on Ghostbusters and He-Man, and that's sort of the way we split it up. And then we met later in our turtle phase when we both had turtles. But there was a lot of stuff that I was interested in but didn't have as a kid. So, for instance, Mask was one of those things that I always thought, that's just so cool, and I could never. I decided to still focus on Transformers. Mm-hmm. So, one of the things.
Did you really get that option from your parents? Like, being a parent myself, I know, like, whenever like a birthday comes around, you try to like guide, the aunts and grandparents to be like, don't just buy them anything, buy something they already have so it expands on it instead of having 14 different boxes for everything,
Oh, absolutely. My dad is a model train guy. Okay. So the sort of the mad collector gene is in my blood. And I think they saw the Transformers and they were like, okay, that's actually quite ingenious. That's good stuff. So don't buy this other crap. Focus on this stuff. And they were right, because I had a very respectable amount of Transformers as a kid, so I could play like big adventures with them and stuff. So I'm grateful for that. But there's definitely other lines that I've discovered now as an adult collector, where I'm like, oh man, I wish I had that as a kid, because that was so cool. Like Mask, like Pizza Cats, for instance. Like, it took me 15 years to figure out there even were Samurai Pizza Cats toys.
Was that like a cartoon you guys had in on like kids TV, or what is it called in Holland?
Yeah, we had so in Holland we had at first we had Sky Channel, which was
Sky Channel. Yeah.
I think you had in Belgium as well, right? Yeah. So it was just piping off through.
It rings a bell. Yeah. Did you have like Denver the Last Dinosaur on?
Yeah.
And all those crazy cartoons from back.
Gem and the Holograms, and the $6 Million Family, or Bionic 6.
Oh, wow.
All that stuff was on Sky Channel, and then all of a sudden we had Taylor Kids, and then we went to Fox Kids, and all these. So all the shows that everybody knows, we saw them, and one of those shows was Samurai Pizza Cats, and my brain was trained. If it looks like that with robots and animals and stuff, then it has toys. Okay. But there were no toys.
We couldn't find them. Yeah.
No. So in my opinion, it was like a waste of time, because even as a kid, it was like, okay, if a toy line didn't have a cartoon, or if a cartoon didn't have a toy line, then it wasn't the real deal, right?
Yeah.
So I remember being disappointed that Pizza Cats didn't have toys, only to find out 15 years later that they did have toys, and that sent me down that path.
Oh yeah. Okay. Perfect. And that was like obviously like a toy you weren't able to find, and it wasn't something that you weren't able to have or allowed to have. Um, so it's something like Nikki, who bought a couple TMNT figures off me in Amsterdam. Thanks so much for dropping by to stand back then. Awesome. But were there any toys that your parents didn't allow you to have, or you just like Soundwave, you never found it, or like your parents didn't want you to have it, or what was the thing behind that?
I think a bunch of them were just never found, because this is all before the internet, and you just didn't know. Like going on vacation to another country, to let's say Belgium or France or Germany, would mean seeing stuff that you never saw before. But I do remember that I wasn't allowed to have a Boglin, and then my babysitter got me a Boglin for my birthday, and it was like the best, because my mom saw that commercial. We all know the one with the peas and stuff like that, when they're feeding the Boglin, and I was like, I need that, and my mom was like, no, hard no. But I since got him boxed and new.
Yeah. Oh, with
But I
the
still,
little tag on it.
yeah.
Yes.
But I still have the original one as well, which like completely worn and etc. But like, yeah, so the Boglin was one of those forbidden fruits that I did get eventually. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Okay. Was
I
there
see
like
some comments about
anything else you were like into? I mean, Samurai Pizza Cats is going crazy in the chat right now.
I see it. Yeah, like lots of people like, well, if they want, I came prepared.
Yeah, because you have one of the cars, I think, because they're talking about the play sets here as well.
If I don't know if it's super visible on the camera, but the second shelf is almost 100% Pizza Cats. So that's all this stuff. And so if you indulge me, I'll rattle about Pizza Cats for
sure,
2 minutes.
Man. Sure.
If that's cool. So
it's by Bandai?
Yeah, it's by Bandai. Yeah, it's very similar, a very similar build to Gundam models.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, I didn't find them as a kid, thought they didn't exist. 15, 20 years later, as an adult collector, I'm just browsing the internet, and suddenly a picture hits, and it's a Samurai Pizza Cats figure, and I'm like, oh my god, they do exist, and they look exactly like what I told the mom of one of my friends. Because of course, in my brain, I went like, oh, I want Samurai Pizza Cats for my birthday. They look like this. They're about this big. They have these accessories. Never seen it in my life. Just assumed that it existed. And then 15, 20 years later, I see a picture and it looks exactly like that. So I had a little like brain hemorrhage moment of like,
looking into the future.
Am I making this? Did I manifest this? And so I went down the rabbit hole of collecting them all. And at first I got all the European boxes, because they were released in Italy and France and and Spain. And I got a few of them, and they came apart really easily. I'm like, oh, this is really shitty quality. What's going on? But what's going on is that these are the put together versions of the Japanese model kits.
Okay, yeah.
So they're these snap together model kits, these glueless model kits. And I guess they assumed that the Europeans didn't want to do any building, and they just sort of pre-assembled them for us and released them like this. So it took forever to find all the European ones, which was hard enough. And then I was like, okay, now I want to find all the Japanese ones. And then there was always
the car,
the robot, the big robot.
Okay.
Yeah. So the great catatonic, the giant.
I can actually like I can highlight you.
There we go. Yeah.
The great catatonic.
So this one was always on the box, and I couldn't find the European version of it. I was like, okay, so I think it wasn't released in Europe.
Did the
And
Pizza Parlor come out?
Also not in Europe, no. I think they just sort of took some images from the Japanese stuff and put it on the box as a teaser.
Wow, okay.
And then years later, I'm talking like this whole journey to collect all the Pizza Cats was like, I think a 10, 11-year journey. I finally found the...
Whoa, here he is.
Yeah. The Great Catatonic, which is very nerve-wracking, I might say. If you have to put together, if you find a Holy Grail and you import it from the other side of the world, but you still have to put it together yourself with Japanese instructions, that's
with Japanese instructions and everything, dude. That's freaking awesome, man.
It had a Japanese correction, a little sheet, correction sheet on the Japanese instructions. So I had to figure out what they meant initially and what the correction was, and then not break the thing. So it was very nerve-wracking, but I did find it eventually. Yeah,
dude, that's so sick.
Yeah. So Pizza Cats was one of those things where I'm like, okay, Transformers is fun, but Transformers is relatively easy. It's very common here in Western Europe, especially if you have friends in the scene. You can pretty much find anything you're looking for. And I needed a tougher challenge, so that Samurai Pizza Cat stuff was that tougher challenge for me for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So you said kind of like Soundwave, you not having it back in the day is what pretty much caused you to start collecting, or was there another thing that made you trip out and be like, hey, this could be a thing I could put some time into?
A few. The Soundwave was definitely sort of the kickoff when I discovered eBay was a thing and these stores were a thing.
What timing are we talking about here? Is this like 2000s? Is it what?
Yeah, I think 2001.
Okay,
2000, early 2000. Yeah, and then there were quite a couple of Transformers focused toy shows in the Netherlands. There was one called Bots, which was a recurring one. There's quite a big Transformers scene. So at first I plunged into Transformers, and at some point you've either owned or seen every one of them that's out there, and it starts to sort of, you lose a little bit of its mystery.
Yeah.
And then I started to fan out into getting Mask and getting back into Turtles. Like Turtles was like not something I was focusing on for years, and well, partially thanks to you and a bunch of the other YouTubers, Turtles is sort of back in my heart, if you will. But I think Soundwave kicked it off. The Supreme Catatonic was another sort of accelerator where I'm like, okay, there's more tougher stuff to hunt for, and that's like more gratifying to find than.
So you're saying like, because I was kind of under the assumption you had a huge Transformers collection before, and then you got rid of it, and now you're starting over a bit again, where you may have fallen more in love with the thrill of the hunt of finding that's custom to you, something that, like, this is made 35 years ago, but I know it's made for me.
Yeah.
Like it has to materialize in front of me now, as you'd say. But
that's
like
exactly right.
what was like, because like I find it because I have a buddy who's going through that. He had a ton of stuff. Now he's sold off a lot, and now he's constantly like trickling back into it, going like really focused on one thing and trying to keep it small, but it always explodes. How are you keeping it from exploding, or what is it more about to you now? Is it really about finding out about, hey, I know about this crazy manga cartoon back in the day. I know there's a couple of the toys out there, but I really want to dig until I find every last piece of what this toy line had to offer.
So you're right. I had quite a respectable Transformers collection somewhere in the early 2000s, because I went a little bit crazy, and I had to sort of stop myself because the boxes were piling up, like when you now when I get a box in, I'm really excited to open it and take pictures and stuff. But back then, it got so bad that I had like a pile of boxes to open, and I was like, okay, that's bad. That means that the hunt is more important than the actual toy. And then I sold almost like 90% of the collection. Then it built back up again, sold it again when I moved countries. When I moved back to the Netherlands, it started building up again. For a while, I had like a rule of 3 in, 1 out that I would always like sell every year at like conventions. So that I had like 3 new ones in, 1 out. But that has completely shifted into like, I know, 15 in, 1 out these days. And the only thing that's sort of keeping it somewhat sane is that I'm sort of like the anti-completionist. Like with the Pizza Cats, I like to complete it because it's a really small line, and I found most of it. It's only like a few really hard pieces that are left. But for the other stuff, for I've got some Space Jam Monstars. I've got some SWAT Cats, some He-Man, some Computer Force, and none of it is like the whole line or the whole wave, because I'm just cherry picking the ones that I like, that capture my attention in somehow, and that's keeping me sane because I don't have unlimited space or budget.
Yeah. I think not a lot of people do, or definitely not the people that would want it, have it. I'm also like confined to this room, so it's always like shifting around and finding new ways to display as much as possible.
Yeah, but you got rid like of a lot of your vintage video games, right? To make room and budget for the toy
Yeah,
collection.
I
Right?
think it's the same thing. It's the same thing with as I was starting out, so mid, like early 2010s. I was buying them at the flea markets for like $1 a piece. So I had a ton, and it was like this completionist thing of like, I'm gonna buy every NES game, I'm gonna buy everything like that. And in the end, it's like, well, I know I bought those just for the fun of it, because you buy a lot, and maybe not everything in there is what you per se would want, but you keep it anyways. So me making a shift into that, like, I have all these games I'm never gonna play. Let's just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Also, I was getting way more into toys.
Yeah.
Way more. Like, it's scary how much it's taken over. And there was an easy way to do that, because my buddies who are on the channel a lot in the European videos, Matti and Renzo, they bought over a bunch of stuff, so I know it's in good hands. And I sold off a whole bunch at conventions, indeed. But yeah, I've never been into like the business of reselling or anything. But it was fun to have like a sudden cash flow stream to do like other stuff I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I
because
got,
they've also picked up in value like significantly, right? Like in the
compared
time
to like
starting.
when I bought them 10 years before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of the stuff I was like, really, like, this is insane. I remember, picking up Game Boy games for Pokemon back in like back then. I was just picking them up for like 10 a piece, complete in box. And I think like when I was checking eBay sold listings, it was like saying like 200, 300.
Yeah.
This was right when we came out of COVID. And I remember being like the night before, like putting prices on and being like, well, it's like 80 euros cheaper than what it's going for. So somebody should like see a deal in it. First hour of the convention, they were all sold. Nobody went like, can you do cheaper?
No, because like,
So it's like should I have asked more? No, it's something I decided on putting those prices on, being like, I want to get rid of the stuff. It's making me enough money than what I put into it. but it was like kind of scary, like seeing like how much those like shot up in price, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
You attracting people to your booth like piranhas, just going all
yeah,
sides.
that time. I don't know. But yeah, I think there's always like the one guy at the toy show that's like selling off a lot of the stuff he's been, hoarding for the past 10 years or 20 years, that you're like, "Well, there's going to be something good here. I don't care
Yeah.
if I have to pay a little bit more because it's something I really want." That's why, I always try to look for that collector.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
have like an example collector or like an inspiration? Like, was there another guy that you maybe met at one of those Transformers conventions, or somebody else you saw on TV that you're like, um, that was an inspiration for the way you collected back then, maybe something for the way you collect right now?
Um, Hard to say, really. Like I try to avoid comparison, because like a lot of collections that I see from other people make me very jealous. Like yours is amazing. There's other people who have like insane collections. Um, the guy that you visited in Mexico with very high ceilings and all the black cabinets. I don't remember
Uh,
his name.
yeah, well, one was in Texas, Raul's place, with the crazy amount of Transformers, and then in Mexico, I visited Ariel um, from Unpunched, and his collection was a lot of
Ah,
TMNT. So I think you're referring to Raul's
yeah,
place.
I think it was rules.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Just
His
seeing stuff like
collection
that
was
makes me like super jealous. Like, because I'm not going to get to that size of a collection anytime soon. So I try to avoid comparison,
maybe if
but
you had kept all your Transformers from before.
I wish I did. Like what you were saying about like the Game Boy games, there was a whole phase. Like if there's Transformer collectors in the comments, they might know what I'm talking about. There is these end of G1, early G2 European exclusive Transformers. These really nuclear colored ones that everything was neon green and neon pink. And they were European exclusive because the line was kind of dead in America, but still going on here in Europe. And they weren't selling great in Europe either. So they, for years, were like in bargain bins and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And in my original Transformer collecting run, I collected uh, those, but like in doubles or triples. Like I
Oh
had them
wow!
like
Okay.
loose
One to
and
open, one to keep in box, and one to stow away for
yeah,
a later time.
because this was like the old days when Greek eBay and Italian eBay were different things, right?
Oh
They were
wow!
different
Okay.
sites. I would go onto Greek and Italian eBay and just haul over boxes full of these European exclusive Transformers. And I was known as the nuclear Euro collector guy for a while. And then I had all of them. Like, okay, this is way too much. I'm not going to keep all of them. And then I couldn't sell them because nobody was interested. If I still had all of those now and I would sell them to the Americans, I would make a fortune. But I didn't. I didn't keep them. I sold them all. So I have like. I wish I had a good sales story like you had with your Game Boy games. But yeah, now when it comes to other collectors, I really like to sort of free myself from pressure and perfectionism and trying to be completist and all that stuff. If anything, like Thew Adams from Thew's Awesome Transformers reviews on YouTube is an inspiration, because he just finds real, genuine, sort of guttural joy in the most random robot. Like not every one of them is like a masterpiece or really exclusive or rare. Sometimes he gets like a really shitty, simple one, and he just gets real joy out of it. So I find that an inspiration. But also, of course, your channel and Greco and Froggy Flips, and there's a whole bunch of YouTubers who have like who have in some way influenced what I do.
Yeah, yeah. Manny he's talking about the 4-pack of IPA you gave us.
Hey, Maddie! Yay! Yeah, I was, quick shortcut to make friends. Just get people friends.
Shortcut to make friends. It's also Jeroen. is asking like if I ever would think about opening a shop in Belgium. I would really want to, but I think like the biggest problem is just stock, like getting stuff in, and um,
And pricing,
like
right? You would have
pricing,
you would
and
have to
yeah,
make enough margin to have a
yeah,
shop, and that's really hard if everybody knows exactly what everything's worth and everybody's looking for a deal.
yeah.
Then it's
And
tricky.
definitely like keeping open a shop, like you have overhead and stuff, so it would be
Yeah.
very difficult. It's something I would like to do, but I don't see like a way of making it not per se profitable, but
Worth it.
without it being like a money pit,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Um,
I think we've all thought about it. Like almost every collector I talk to has at some point fantasized about owning a shop.
yeah,
And I
I
think
think we should
the
all just put our ideas together in one hat and all go for it.
unite forces, that would be nice. Like kind of like a Captain
Oh,
Planet thing. Turtles, Transformers, Ghostbusters, with
do
our powers
you
combined.
d- yeah, about talking like letter powers combine, like I was saying before, like I usually think like there's like one collector you saw and it just clicked, like this is what I've been wanting to do, this is the way to kind of do it, and then it evolves. But like from watching your videos, I see like you have a whole bunch of friends where you hang out with when you do like these toy hunting trips.
Yeah.
Like how did that come about? Like because that's like one of the things Maddie's always also talking about, like look like Vince, he actually talks to the people in the videos, and he's like buying them coffee and stuff, and we always have to work, so
Oh.
I'm like, Maddie, just hold the camera and find us some toys, man. Like we'll get
Shut
beers
up,
later,
Maddie.
it's all good. No, I'm just kidding, but yeah, I'm definitely like focused like a hound on like trying to get some content out, but I
Listen,
really
I,
like the vibe you bring across from those videos with all your buddies over there. So how did that come about? Is that like a long time friendship?
yeah, those are like my old school friends from graphical school, which is funny because the building where we went to school is like on the other side of the road from Toy Zone, where the convention is held that we visited. Yeah, those are all like you tend to sort of find people that have similar hobbies. So Jacco, Gold Plastic Syndrome, is a big Transformers collector. So we clicked immediately back in school. And then Linda, who Tremendous Toy Things, is
Yeah.
very broad into anything 80s and really accelerated her toy collecting in recent years. And then Marcus is just this guy that we hang with that also has loads of toys, doesn't really care that much. He just buys Akbars, like Kenner Star Wars Akbars, and he has like 30 of them now. And we keep gifting him to them as well. So he's like a wall of Akbars in home.
I think I have a
Um,
double. I'll give him one next time.
oh, please
Yeah,
do. It's funny. Let's keep
yeah.
that gag going forever. Like
Of
just
like
bury
Renzo
him in
sign
Akbar.
it or something. You're
It's
like,
beautiful. Like
yeah.
the and like we have like a good chemistry together. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you remember the toy show in Utrecht, the Dutch Vintage Toy Fair.
Yes. One of the
Yeah,
best ones there ever was, and then it ended.
yeah, it just
Like
disappeared, right?
I know like big shout out to Gerto and Melvin from Dirties for putting it up.
Yeah,
I did a video on it. Maybe you did one too, or you weren't doing videos back then,
I
but
wasn't doing videos yet, and I
like
was too
check out the
shy
video,
to
like
talk
the
to you.
stuff that was there, the vendors, the oh, I wish I could have gone back. I remember doing that video and being like, "Oh, I'm gonna do like a challenge of only like spending this much cash, and I should have spent a lot more." Yeah,
It was amazing. Like to just to talk about that convention for a moment, because we went there as sellers. We had watched a lot of YouTube content about toy shows, and we were like, let's do a table together. Like we all put our leftovers of our collections together, and we will share a table. And that was a lot of fun. It was like that was the first time we like did something like that, the four of us together. And this was 4 months after I had imported the Great Catatonic from Japan for a small fortune,
okay.
and I had to sell off some toys to fund that. So I was they're mostly to sell. And then there's this guy who had all these kinnikuman, which like the Japanese muscle, or the Japanese exogeny and muscle man. Yeah. And I was like, oh, he has Japanese stuff. I'm just gonna ask him, like, hey, do you have some pizza kits? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he pulls out another boxed Great Catatonic, like something I've been looking for 11 years, and then I find one. I finally have it, and then a few months later, just in Utrecht, which is just another city in Amsterdam, close to Amsterdam, and like for like a quarter of the price that I paid for it. So I immediately went like, yeah, I'll take it, and like no negotiation, like yes. But the plot thickens. I open the box. Ooh. And I see that it's half built and it's missing pieces. But I am busy as a seller, and I'm like, I cannot see if it's complete, and I stressed out. So I give it back to the guy. I'm like, I changed my mind. I don't know if it's complete. I think it's missing some parts. And he was a good sport. He gave me my money back, and I felt like an asshole, and I walked away. And then the entire convention, this gnawing regret was eating me from the inside. I'm like, I don't need 2 catatonics, but it's super rare, and I can have 2, but I don't need 2 of them, but it might be incomplete. But what if it is complete? What if I can complete it? The price is really good. And I left without it. And then I spent, I think, half a year trying to track this guy down through his karate dojo to still buy it from him. But that's when COVID hit. So like it took forever to finally make it happen. So I have 2 of these. Like there's one on the shelves over there.
Okay, yeah.
And I have the other one here. So that's why, for me, like toy finds wise, Dutch Vintage Toy Fair in Utrecht was iconic. But it was also the first time the plastic friends came together. And I saw you doing your videos, and I was way too shy to come and say hi and everything. But I was like, okay, this could be a culture that I want to be part of. This is cool.
You already have somebody that wants to buy one, so
nope, not for sale.
But what would be the end game of collecting? How many catatonics would it take?
I don't know.
One boxed one or 2 more? Or like how many is enough?
If I ever find, like I had a dream about this the other day, if I ever find that they did do a Euro box version of the catatonic, like let's say Toysimi 2024, there's some crazy Italian guy who has like a boxed European release catatonic just to prove that it exists, I would probably lose my mind. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe we should make it happen. Maybe we should just go.
I would love to go to Toysimi, but like I need to sort out my calendar for this year. I think
they have like really good coffee in Italy. Small, but good.
I love it. I run on caffeine.
Oh, dude, can you show the catatonic one more time? Just, I mean,
here we go.
Like we haven't seen it yet, so.
Here we go. So it also transforms into this Sphinx statue.
Wow.
And it has ankle tilt for a model kit. It's quite impressive.
So there's articulation on the feet?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's
don't break it, but
ankle tilt and ankle rotation and hip rotation and everything, and the weapons combine to form a fish. Makes sense for the cartoon, but yeah, it's a really cool piece. Like if a fire would break out, this would probably be the thing that I rescue, because all the other stuff is replaceable or you can find again, but I'll never have the experience of building this sweat dripping from my head with the Japanese instructions. Yeah.
Dude, I love it, man.
Toy porn, I see. Hashtag toy porn.
So when did you turn to like making content, like trying to go, because maybe you had an Instagram first and then you started doing YouTube, or did you start doing YouTube? What made you want to come out more as a collector or as somebody who has an opinion on toys and collecting and stuff like that?
So at first I was just collecting toys and putting on my regular Instagram. But then I got kids and I wanted to keep that separate. I didn't want to have that in a public page. But then I noticed like, oh, this is killing all my connections in the toy scene. That my Instagram is no longer public. So I was like, okay, I'll do a separate Instagram just for the toys, and that was Mint in mind. And quite quickly I thought like I want to do videos too, but I was looking at it too much from sort of a professional perspective. I was like, I was trying to, like, I come from marketing and advertising and stuff, so I was like, okay, who's this for? What's the audience? What do they want to see? And I was making it way too complicated. And it wasn't until um, fall of 2022, I think, then I went like, okay, all these projects at work, they're too complex, too many opinions, too many people involved. I want to do something really simple that I can finish, like with iMovie on my MacBook. I know how Adobe Premiere works. I could probably figure out DaVinci, but doing it with iMovie forces me to keep it really simple and just get one out there and see how it goes. And that quickly rolled into, okay, this is so much fun. I just want to do this for every toy show that I go to. And then of course getting connected with people like yourself and other people in the scene, then it very quickly becomes, yeah, it becomes a thing you do. And most responses, most people that I've met and most interactions with people have been really pleasant. And I didn't expect that, because the old Transformers scene back in the 2000s, there was quite a bit of drama and meh. And I was like, I don't know if I want to attach my face to that. But since I've taken the plunge, I would say 99.9% it's been just really pleasant and just good vibes all around. So I'm really happy I finally took the plunge and let go of the perfectionism. Just put something out there and then improve the next one and improve the next one and improve the next one. And just don't make it so hard for
Yeah,
yourself.
but it is super good though. Like me and
Thanks.
Maddie,
Yeah.
we were talking about like, dude, this guy's content is like killer. Like, why doesn't ours look as good?
Oh, shut up.
Like, and yeah, no, I mean, you have like, I think it comes down to having, like a good eye, or like a good um knowing what you would want to see and trying to project that into a video, and hopefully our people will enjoy it, and then it turns into something of your own. So what would you say like your strategy to content is? Like, um, how do you, because you've done some videos on discussing a couple toys. I saw the latest one with like the top 10 finds,
Yeah.
which had a couple of really cool toys in there as well. Definitely go and check out that video, guys. And but what I know you most of, and what I think most of the videos on the channel are, is like the toy hunts or the hangouts over at a toy convention. Like, how do you approach that? Because like you probably have like a ton of footage. How do you cut it down? Which parts do you show?
Yeah.
Which maybe you don't show?
That's funny, actually. I don't know if you have the same phenomenon, but like the stuff you shoot at the toy show is actually really easy to do. And the stuff you shoot at home, like talking to camera like this, when it's not live, when it's scripted, is like an absolute pain in the butt. It's like 37 takes of the same sentence and trying to just get it out naturally.
Yeah.
It's really tough. But the stuff like going to the toy shows, like when I you and I spoke at Vintage Toys of the Universe a few years back as well, that one was so easy. It was just film, say some funny stuff every once in a while, nudge a friend and like, hey, I'm going to film you for a minute. And I would just cut it down. And what I would what I really learned in my, I know I've only done like 12 or 15 videos, so like my rookie numbers. But what I've learned is you have to sort of follow your instinct. If it feels long, then it's too long. If it feels redundant, then it is redundant. If you feel like this bit's not funny, then it isn't funny. So like really cut really aggressively, and then what you're left with feels high quality.
Yeah,
But the
snappy editing. Yeah,
snappy editing, yeah, the
yeah,
J cuts and everything, you know the game. But yeah, the stuff at the toy shows is really easy to edit. It's really fun. It's the stuff that the film at home that is a chore. Yeah.
do you
So
like
strategy wise, so
plan
you
it
asked
out and write stuff out when you do that, or
for the top 10 I did, and for the 1988 Transformers retrospective that I did write a script. But I'm not completely sure if I'm going to keep doing that, because the script writing, yes, I guarantee that I can get all my bits in, but it's just so much more work to get it on film. Where if
yeah,
I'm at a show, like I'll walk up to you or to Timothy Savage or one of the other guys, and I'll just ask a question. If they say something funny, then it goes into the edit. If it's not, then we cut it. It's really effortless.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like it's there in the moment. It's spontaneous, and whatever's there, there's no like reshooting.
No, which is also
So
liberating. It's
yeah,
very liberating
definitely.
to not be able to do another take. It's like, that's it. Work with it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're planning on doing some more this year? Maybe go into Toy Explosion?
I got my
I'll be there.
tickets. Yeah.
You bought your tickets?
Yeah.
I don't.
I fell for it. I fell for the whole the whole pre-sale thing. Yeah.
I. I. Do I have tickets? I'm going anyways. I mean,
They should give you tickets. You did a
I.
bunch of
No, no,
your
yeah,
channel's
but
been very good for
um,
explosion.
no, no. I have a table. So
Oh.
yeah. So I mean, I'll be there definitely. Yeah, and we can hang out. But yeah, that's like definitely like a cool um toy show to go to in not in Holland, in Germany. I think for you it's also maybe like 3 or 4 hours. Maybe it's closer.
It is closer, but it's quite a drive. So I think if I am going to Toy Explosion, I might make a weekend out of it. Hopefully,
Yeah,
bring the plastic friends and make it a whole
yeah.
thing. Maybe do like a 3-parter video. We'll see. Yeah.
So Toy Explosion is, I think, in the beginning of September, something like that. Let me check. Let me check real quick because it's pretty cool.
I think it's September. Yeah, yeah, somewhere.
Toy Explosion. Um,
I got it here.
why don't they just like pop the thing on there? Volume 2 in the Europa Halle on the 14th and 15th of September. There we go. I'll be there definitely on the 14th. Not sure about 15th yet, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Those second days, Ed. Do you believe in like day twos of toy shows?
I
Because a lot
believe
of
in
shows
day
do it.
twos, but I also believe that I have kids and like a ton of other stuff that needs to get done
Yeah,
most of
same.
the time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd go there. Like second days. It's always good.
For the bargains, for the deals, right? Second day.
Yeah, yeah. What are you saying? This like 24th of September? No, it's the second one is 14th and 15th. Okay. Then I think like Finished Toys of the Universe is also happening around that time, but closer to it, I know there's going to be a Transformers heavy toy show in Amsterdam.
That's right. Yeah, in
By the guys from
Haarlem.
Toy Zone that are
Yeah.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Transformers focused show by the guys from Toy Zone. I don't know what they've called it. I think it's just called Toy Zone Transformers only.
Yeah, Transformers only.
Haarlem, where I'm originally from, which is close to Amsterdam, and I've actually been to. They did that before they did Toy Zone, and it was quite a fun little show. They had like I don't know, 12, 15 sellers back then, but it was really good for finding good stuff for good deals and good prices. So I assume it's going to be like that. I'm looking forward to it very much. The 3rd of February in Haarlem.
Okay.
and I'm going to be there. I'm probably going to bring a couple of the plastic friends along, and then there's a Gap, and I think then there's another Toy Zone. Then there's Toy Explosion in Germany, probably a
Well,
Toy City.
you can probably come over to Glitch Mania
Oh
in
yeah,
Belgium. That's on the
yeah.
17th of February. So yeah, and I'll be going to the Great Ohio Toy Show in Xenia, Ohio, somewhere.
Wow.
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to Kane County this year. I would love to, but I also have to work at some point.
So how big is the Ohio Toy Show? How what are we
I have
talking? Is
no
it
clue.
as
It's
big
going
as
to be the
Kane?
first time. I think it might be similar, maybe bigger, maybe it's different. I'm hoping it's different. I'm hoping for like just a lot of vintage toys, but a different experience, because that's what it is to me. There's no like end goal or like final grail or final thing. It's always like learning new stuff, meeting
Yeah.
new people. I definitely grown to love meeting new people along like these toy trips. That's what it's about for me, and being able to bring some of my friends along on stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I guess like those toy shows are the ones that are going to come up. You're going to go to the toy Transformers show.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's
And
going to be the next one. Gonna shoot another video there, and I'm going to try to do a lot more physical toy shows this year instead of
okay.
online hunting, because I've noticed like last year and the year before I also did a lot of online hunting, which is
Okay.
great, but that means that you arrive at a toy show with less money in your pocket. And I was watching the Toy See Me video by the toy shop on tour guys,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah. Yeah.
saw Billy Galaxy buying that big black transforming revolver,
Yeah.
and I was like, see, that's the type of stuff that's and really cool and really rare and like tied to the location the show is at, that you should buy when you're there. So I
Yeah.
need to make sure that I have that kind of budget when I goes to these shows this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I've definitely grown to love just buying it in person and
Yeah.
making it an experience. Even though like some stuff I'll go and hunt on eBay, like a fan club pack for like TMNT. I'm never gonna find that loose over here somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, so is it all about the vintage toys for you, or is there some of the newer stuff that's catching your fancy or tickling your fancy? Like,
There's definitely some modern stuff that tickles me, unfortunately, because it takes budget away from the vintage. So Transformers, sort of modern day Transformers, have been really good the last couple of years. Like I've let's see, what's it, arm's length? Like this is a really tiny one, but I've got like a whole stack of modern
of
Transformers
boxes filled with them.
screen. Yeah, but like this kind of stuff, they're doing a lot of characters from the 1986 movie for this line called Studio Series 86. There are all these sort of as good as you can make them for the price point
Yeah.
versions of the characters, and they've just been really good. And I'm not a big GI Joe guy, but the classified line is also like undeniably good.
Oh yeah.
So this is a Sergeant Slaughter holding a tiny Sergeant Slaughter, which is probably the best action figure accessory ever released. Just an action
He's
figure
so
with an
freaking
action
cool.
figure. You can even unbox him like it's a removable blister pack. So yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I see
That's
them.
the Action Force one.
This is not the Action Force one. No, this is the Hasbro one. So there
Okay.
was
Yeah.
one, and there was a Hasbro one, and there's a Mattel wrestling one. So at some point there were 3 different Sergeant Slaughters on the market at the same.
Ooh. I mean, there can never be too many Sergeant Slaughters.
No,
Right?
and good for him, right? Get those
Yeah.
royalties in, get that
he
money.
does a lot of like the GI Joe shows as well in the US. Like he'll be over there guesting, and like that would be like super awesome to.
That would be like one of the people I would love to meet. Like people that that have almost transcended their own
Well, yeah,
personality.
they're like
And
in wrestling, but he's also in GI Joe. It's like,
yeah,
wow, love that.
yeah.
Um,
When you
yeah,
go to these toy shows, like when you go to these Comic Cons, Ed, like I know we spoke at Brussels, and then of course I think was Jean Claude there, or was that the last one where
that was
Jean
the
Claude was?
last one
Yeah,
where we went over. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme came over. We didn't see him, but
yeah.
I mean, it was definitely some vibes there that were
What
cool.
what in your case, plastic wins it from the autographs, right?
Yeah, even like um I I'd be more excited about meeting Steve Varner or like Scott Hennessy,
Yeah,
the guys that made it, or David Asharsky from Milk blah 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 Studios. I'm drawing a blank on his studio. I'd be more interested in meeting him or like uh, Mark Friedman, who did the
yeah,
marketing, Turtles for Street Sharks for all that stuff,
yeah.
and picking his brain instead of um, like
Some
somebody who
actor.
did
Yeah,
the voices or somebody because um, that's just the way I am.
yeah.
I think for some things, but I think we met like one of the guys that was Raph in one of the movies from Turtles, like Ken
Oh,
Scott,
cool.
and that was like super awesome to meet. He was like totally chill, and that was like one of the best experiences meeting somebody that you actually grew up watching. And he was also like a foot soldier at one point in one of the movies, and then he played like another character and stuff. So it was crazy. And his book is also just amazing to read through. Um, but I, I don't know. It's just like where my focus lies. I'm more
Yeah,
interested in that. I'm maybe like even more interested in meeting like other collectors, honestly. Like,
yeah,
so yeah.
yeah. No,
Is the is
I
the
get that.
tiny Sergeant Slaughter holding an even tinier? Yeah, it
That would
is.
be next level, Rennie. That would be like you're talking like a slaughter holding a slaughter holding a slaughter, right? Yeah, that would be next level. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So like it's a looping picture thing. Oh, that's what he was
maybe,
going for. Okay.
maybe. Let's. I don't know how close we can get and still stay in
I
focus,
can I
but
can I can I can solo you.
oh no,
Oh
I think
no,
he's got his arms
he's
crossed.
just got
Yeah,
his arms crossed. Okay.
yeah,
There you go. Scuba Pete already subbed to Vince. I think you guys should do it too. He's gonna have a new video out, and in the meanwhile, you can check out his top 10 from the pickups from last year, which are pretty good. There's some samurai pizza cat action in there, isn't it?
No, there is a different kind of cat, though. A different kind of cat. Riff
Okay.
Raff from Heathcliff and the Cadillac
That's
Cats, which,
okay. I
yeah.
was mixing those two up.
Yeah, no,
I
that's
was
okay. They're like
constantly
the same.
thinking like that's
Yeah.
why I was referencing like, and you bought the van. You bought the van, but it's not Pizza Samurai
It's up
Cats.
there.
It's
I can pull
Heathcliff.
it off the shelf if you have a
Yeah, do it,
moment,
do it.
because I think
Yeah,
that's one of those, like, if we're talking grails, everybody throws the word grail around like it's
yeah,
nothing, and it's what people's definition of a grail is deeply personal, right? Like, everybody has their own reasons to have a grail, and for me, it's often about sort of digging into your own sort of memories and finding like the plastic thing that connects to this one vague memory you have. So uh, this is there was a guy in the Heathcliff cartoon, Riff Raff, who
yeah.
had like a bunch of other
Okay,
bad
I
cats.
was connecting that to the samurai cats. So
Oh
for
yeah,
some
it's
reason, I don't know why, because the car looks so like Japanese kind of to me. But
that's both Bandai, so it's not
okay,
a weird connection to make.
okay,
But yeah, this is one of those things. This is a transforming Cadillac. Um,
Cadillac.
yeah, Cadillac. Nice. Ding. Um, Made by Bandai Poppy with like loads of like the chrome that was protected still
Yeah,
looks great. The other chrome, of course, is a little bit worn.
yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, this was one of those things that I tracked down through the help of a friend, Captain Planet Toys on Instagram. This thing, I set it as a grill. I was like, okay, this is going to be my new grill. And within a month, this toy collecting friend of mine, Captain Planet Toys, helped me find it. So I need harder grills.
Wow,
So yeah.
that's epic, man. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, talking about what got you into collecting, what got you into content creating. Who do you think we should have on next time? Like, who should we get over as a guest next time? Maybe.
I think let's return the favor. Get my buddy Captain Planet Toys, Jonas from Germany, in there. I think you'll like his collection. He has, I think, about like 15 My Pet Monsters.
What?
He's got a huge collection of My Pet Monster. He has the biggest collection of Bone Age that I've ever seen.
But I mean, so he lives in Germany.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been looking for new people to do Behind the Collectors with.
I think he would love it. He has
let's just like Maddie. Let's just take the show over to Germany. Let's do it. I'll feed you beer. You just have to hold the camera.
Is that how you pay Maddie? You pay him in beer?
No, just kindness as well, and planning stuff for him, logistics, words, kind words.
Hey, but you can combine it with Toy Explosion in Germany, because he's going to be there.
That could be a thing. That could be a thing, maybe.
But he's a sick collector. He even collects like the shop, the shelf fronts.
Oh, the shelf toppers and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. All right. No, that would be a great connection to make. So yeah.
Let me introduce you to. It's a really good guy to talk to. Like one last story about the Utrecht Dutch Vintage Toy Fair, because Jonas from Captain Planet Toys came there as well from Germany to Utrecht to that toy fair, and there is within his scene of Captain Planet Toys, which is one of his focuses, there is a Holy Grail that is like this rumor that only existed on a few catalog photos, and some people say it never got released and stuff. Like it's like one of your, it would fit very well in one of your videos with the unproduced prototypes and stuff. And he found it there in Utrecht. It's the Crystal Palace, or what was it called? The Chrysalis or something. Like it's like a sort of base for Captain Planet to shoot out of. It was like a myth, and he found it in Utrecht.
Yeah, and there's like this crazy thing that popped up last weekend in a toy show in the UK as well, and the guys have been going crazy over it. I think it's sold, but it was this, like also like a German thing. Like I couldn't find anything on it. Like a Kaboom.
Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Like Du hast. It seems to be like trash cans. Like when you go and look on like action figure checklists, this is not on it. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's another thing, but it's made by Kenner. So yeah, I don't know what that is. So yeah, the show.
It's one of those ones. One of those things where it's a picture on a catalog somewhere and nobody believes it actually exists. And
then it all of a sudden pops up.
Yeah,
at the toy show, right? Okay, man. Well, this was super fun. The next show is going to be in like 2 weeks for the Geek Out Live, and we're actually going to have a collector on that I've been wanting to get on for the longest time, and also my first Canadian guest. So definitely keep your eyes peeled on the channel and on the Instagram to see who that is. I've been dying to talk to this guy, so it's going to be crazy. But I'll definitely try and get in touch with your buddy over there, and yeah, let's talk soon. So thank you everybody for checking out this video, and definitely go and subscribe to Vince. And yeah, let's make some awesome videos next year. This year, yeah, dude.
Awesome.
Thanks for bringing me, for helping me get through this first live stream again. It's been so long. I'm like super rusty. So
no, thanks for having me, man. This has been a lot of fun. It's very casual. I love the comments. I'm seeing it all, even if we don't respond to it in the moment. We're seeing all the comments. Thanks for having me. This is going to be fun. I will see you at the toy shows, and we'll pop up in each other's videos again.
Oh yeah.
And maybe I'll have some more beer for Matti. We'll see.
Don't feed him
It's
too
gonna be
much.
fun.
That's gonna be great. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.